Hi everyone, welcome back to Ank's English. I'm Ank, and in today's episode, we are diving into a powerful topic: how to think faster and speak more confidently in any conversation. Have you ever felt stuck in a conversation, unable to find the right words when you need them most? You're not alone. Today, you'll hear how Alice and Emma tackle this challenge and share simple, practical tips to help you think and respond quicker, no matter the situation. If you want to improve your communication skills and feel more confident in every chat, hit that subscribe button, and let's jump right into it.
Hey everyone! Welcome back to Ank's English, where we dive deep into language and communication skills. I'm Alice.
And I'm Emma. We're here to talk to you about something we all struggle with sometimes: thinking fast and responding smartly, especially in tough conversations. Ever been caught off guard when someone asks you a question and your mind goes blank? We've all been there.
Oh, absolutely. It's like your brain just stops working and you're left scrambling for words. But today, we're going to share some strategies on how to improve that reflex, how to think on your feet, and respond with confidence, no matter the situation.
Sounds exciting. But first, let's talk about why this happens. Why do we freeze in moments where we need to speak quickly? Alright, Alice, think back to a time when you were in an interview or a meeting, and someone asked you a tough question. What happened?
Ugh, I remember that. It was during my first big job interview. They asked me, "What is your greatest strength?" And I totally froze. I knew the answer, but my mind just went blank. I couldn't say anything for a few seconds, and it felt like an eternity.
That sounds stressful. It happens to all of us, though. It's because when we're under pressure, our brains go into a kind of survival mode. It's like fight or flight. Your brain gets overwhelmed and forgets what it was going to say.
Exactly. And then you panic more, and the cycle continues. But the truth is, you don't need to let that happen. With a few tips and a bit of practice, you can train yourself to respond faster and more effectively.
So let's dive into the strategies that can really help. First things first. What's the most important thing to do when you feel that pressure building up?
Stay calm. Honestly, this is the #1 rule. You can't think clearly if you're in panic mode. If you feel yourself starting to freeze, just take a deep breath.
A deep breath, huh? That sounds simple enough, but it really works. I've done this in tough situations, like when I was presenting in front of a large group. I remember one time my hands were shaking, and I just couldn't get my words out. But then I paused for a second, took a deep breath, and the tension just melted away.
Exactly. Breathing helps reset your mind so you can focus on what you want to say next. And if you're in a conversation, it's okay to take a small pause before responding. It shows that you're thinking, not just rushing to fill the silence.
Speaking of silence, let's talk about another technique: time fillers. Ever used them?
Yes. When I don't know exactly what to say, I'll start with something like, "That's a great question," or, "Let me think about that for a moment." It buys you a little time to gather your thoughts while still staying engaged in the conversation.
That's such a good tip. It's all about staying in control, right? You don't want to just rush into an answer. You want to sound confident, even if you don't have an immediate response. Another trick that can help is anticipation. Before any important conversation, try to predict what might come up. If you're going into a meeting, think about the possible questions they might ask. If it's a casual chat, predict what topics will likely come up.
Yeah, this works great. For example, before I had a big meeting with my boss, I thought through every possible question he might ask about the project we were working on. And guess what? I was prepared for all of them. It felt so good to have the right answer ready.
That's right. And on the flip side, if you're just having a casual conversation, Predicting what the other person might say next helps you stay ahead of the conversation. You can quickly think of a related response without feeling caught off guard.
Let's also talk about paraphrasing. This is something I use all the time, especially if someone asks me a tricky question. Instead of jumping right into an answer, I'll repeat part of the question in my own words. For example, if someone says, "How do you feel about this new project?" I might start with, "Well, about this new project," and then share my thoughts.
Oh, that's such a clever tactic. It helps you slow down and gives you time to think about your response. And it shows the other person that you're really listening to what they're saying.
Exactly. Paraphrasing is a great way to keep the conversation flowing without losing track of your thoughts. And it makes you sound more engaged.
One of the best ways to respond quickly is to keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. The more you try to think of a complex answer, the more you might get stuck. Keep your responses clear and to the point.
For sure. I used to think I needed to use fancy words to impress people. But now I realize that simple, clear answers are always more effective. In fact, when you overthink, that's when you start to ramble.
Yep, I've done that too, and it's exhausting. So instead of worrying about the perfect sentence, focus on what you want to communicate. A simple structure like "I think because" works wonders.
Another great way to improve quick thinking is through improvisation exercises. You know, those word association games, they're not just fun. They actually help you think on your feet. Try saying a word and then the first thing that comes to mind. It's a great way to train your brain to respond quickly.
I love that. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you practice, the better your reflexes get. You can even try improvising conversations with a friend. It might feel silly at first, but it really helps when you're in a real conversation.
Alright, so let's wrap up. The key to thinking fast and responding smartly is to practice, practice, practice. And remember, it's totally okay to make mistakes along the way. That's how you grow.
Exactly. The more you put these techniques into practice, the easier it will get. Soon, you'll be handling any conversation with confidence and clarity.
We hope you found these tips helpful. Remember, quick thinking is a skill, and just like any skill, it gets better with time and effort.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who could use a little help improving their communication skills. Keep practicing, stay confident, and we'll see you in the next episode of Ank's English.